Welcome back to another F1 Clash video by myself as a WF1, and it is time for GP round, the final round on Sunday, and you join us 4 races in and we are on 188 points. So we have maxed score so far, so we've got 47s across the board, and hopefully we can do another 4 lots of 47 to finish. In the league, let's see where we are. So currently 24th. And we've got McGrady sitting top at the moment on 357. So ideally, we have to beat 357 and move up into first place. So with that, let's give it a go. Let's get into the first race, and it is Austria of the final part. Race number 5 is Austria and Spielberg. And it looks like we might have a human player on this one. So let's see where we qualify. And we have an advantage P4 and P8, and we're going to do the usual boosts on here. So we're going to go for the acceleration of Voice, and we're going to go for a downforce on Max Verstappen. We're going to try and do 5 laps on Max, 4 laps on Carlos. So it looks like we have a real player putting boosts on potentially. And let's see if we can get P1 and P2. So we'll do the start. And it's lights out, and here we go. So Carlos Sainz gets a decent start into P3 and P2. And already Verstappen into P5. That's exactly what we need. And Sainz now pushes Sainz off the road. And we are P1 and P4. So we're going to cut Verstappen down, but we're going to get cut out at that corner. And we're just going to leave it going for this part, and we are settling down. So P1 for Carlos Sainz, P5 for Max, and we have got medium and hard tyres ahead of us. And that's a dodgy line taken by Max there. So we need to try and get past Leclerc. We're going to keep boosting a little bit and do all we can. And if not, we'll do it in the pits. And it's the hard tyre that we need to get past. We've got Carlos Sainz in P2, so we're going to hold him up if we can. That's the main part of this. So Verstappen's got good tyres left, so we're going to see if we can make a move up the inside. We can't, and we nearly lose a position, so it's not making it easy for us so far. What about Leclerc? Can we get Leclerc? Nope, not this time. And we're still going to keep towards the back of these. We're going to conserve. I've got Carlos Sainz in P1, and I'm going to boost him now. Max we're going to boost at the end of this. We'll probably boost him now because we want to get him past Carlos Sainz, who's pitting if we can. And what about Verstappen? Verstappen nearly into P4. Tries again. Can't get it to happen. And he's all over the back of Charles Leclerc. What about now? Can we get him up the inside? We can't. It's a terrible line. And that's not great for us. Carlos Sainz is back out in P2 on the hard tyres. And can we get Leclerc now? We can. So we're up to P4. And it looks like Max will be going around one more lap as we come in. So hopefully we can have a soft tyre run to the end. And Carlos Sainz can just cruise out there. As we come out to the pits then, we're going to lose a spot to the rival. And it's down to P6. But we need to get past Gasly ASAP. What about up into the first part here? Not quite. We've got to get Gasly. Oh, come on. Still not past Pierre. And finally we're past, and that's going to cost us getting past Max, but he's only just coming out. So P1 and P4 now. We're okay on tyres, and we're trying to get past P3, which is Max as well. Can we go up the inside? Well, through the car pretty much. And we're still right on the back of P3. So where can we get him? He blocks. Oh, we're nearly around the outside. But still can't get past him. And we've not got the best fuel here either. But we do make it into P3. And P2 is only a second away. And here is P2. So we're low on fuel. We're going to have to conserve a little bit. Can we get him? We're going to have to strategically place him. What about here? Up the inside. Yes, P2. And now we've got to hope we've got enough fuel left to get round this track. But at the minute, it's looking very promising as the fuel goes down. 0.5, 4, 2, 1. We're going to just get there. And that is P1 and P2. 47 points in the bag as we move on to the next race. Race number 6, and we've got a tough matchup this time. We're about 65 lower than the opponent, so it's going to be a tough qualifying to overcome. And you can see we're behind with both drivers, so we've got Carlos Sainz in P6 and Max in P10. So we're going to go for a downforce on Max on the mediums, and Carlos Sainz we're going to put on the dead fast. And we're going to go to try and get him to P1. So it's a tough matchup this time round. And hopefully we can get a good start. But the rival is on hard at the front. So here we go, Carlos Sainz. Can he get a good start? Off the line, he does, and he's into P5, into P4, P2, P1, and Carlos Sainz from the grid all the way up into P1. And that is absolutely perfect. We've got Max in P6. Can he get past the rivals Verstappen? He can't, but we're going to cut down there. So we are P1 and P6 off that start. Carlos Sainz absolutely flying through the pack, carving them open. And that is absolutely what we needed. So the question is now, can we get Max Verstappen up in to P2 against the rival as well? So it's going to be tough. But we never shy from the challenge. What we got in front of us, we've got Max on the hard, so we need to get past Max, and hopefully we can do it down the straight. So can we go round the outside? Not quite. We're going to cut down again and save the tyres. We've got Carlos Sainz absolutely fine out front. And we're going to keep boosting again, try and get him past this hard tyre of Max. He's going to be a lot slower, and we are now through. So P5. And we've got Carlos holding the field up a little bit. That's exactly what we need at the front. We don't want to boost away too far. Otherwise it creates a gap for the rest of the field to spread. So we're going to carry on, and we've got probably about 10 seconds before we're coming into the pits. And we're going to boost for that little bit, and hopefully we should get out ahead of Carlos, no problem. So in we come. We've got Max now coming around the last section, and Carlos already coming out. And that is P2 and P3 at the moment, with the rivals hard tyre ahead of us. So we're going to keep boosting with both. Team orders are going to come into play a little bit. I'm going to boost, conserve with Verstappen. And Carlos Sainz will be coming into the pits for him this lap. So Max will come in, 3 laps on the medium. Carlos will go around for 1 more, and he'll come back for servicing. So Max is in. Where can we get Max though? We're going to push into the end. And he's going to be in a lot of spare track here. So P1 and P2 is still on. They are in the same straight. And Carlos Sainz is absolutely flying out front. So what about Sainz? Can we get past the rival first of all? That is the big question. And yes, we can. We're into P4. As Carlos Sainz comes out to the pits. And it's a long way for them soft tyres on Verstappen on the rival. And he's not going to be able to get to the end on that. So we're pretty much guaranteed P3 here. Is whether or not we can get past Carlos Sainz for P2. And we're going to be boosting right to the end. See if fuel helps us across. but the rival would definitely be pitting this lap. So that's going to help us. And what about Carlos Sainz? He might pit, he might not. And Carlos Sainz carries on. So we're into P3. And it's all down to this last lap in Silverstone. Can we get Carlos Sainz? Hopefully we can get him down into the straight and we don't lose a position to the rival as well. And yes, we do. So we're into P2. P1, P2 in Silverstone. And we should be able to just fly to the finish as Carlos Sainz wins. And Max Verstappen is going to absolutely fly over the line. Another 47 points in the bag, 2 races to go. And this is looking very good indeed. Race 7 in Imola. And we've got a chance of rain, but it's a dry qualifying. And we've got a matchup which is in the rival's favour. But we've got in a good qualifying position. So where do we start? We start P4 and P8. And it is rain for certain part of this. So we're going to split our strategy. I'm going to use a hex on Carlos Sainz. And Max Verstappen, I'm going to use probably a dead fast. And hope that it doesn't rain for long. So we're going to split the strategy. And it is 1:56, so it might come in our favour, this one. So let's get a good start off the line. And we are off. So where can Sainz get to? He's already up to P3. And Verstappen up to P7. And now P2 for Sainz. So Sainz absolutely flying. And Sainz is into the lead. And Max Verstappen is trying as well. But Norris gets ahead. And it's P8 for Max. So we're just going to settle down and look after these tyres. Because in 1:30, it's going to start getting dry. As we cut the corner. A bit connection going all over the place. So come down the home straight. We've got Carlos Sainz in P1. And Max trying to get past Norris. But Norris is good in the wet. But what about the inside line? Oh, not quite. But the rival does manage to jump past. But that's not too bothered about that at the minute. We might be able to try and get 5 laps out of Max. And Max is not enjoying this wet weather because he's getting absolutely passed by everybody. And that's not what we need. He's going backwards, Max is. And down the straight, where are we going to get? Hopefully, with the dry weather coming in, the rest of the field start to go on dry tyres too early. That is the hope. And that's how we're going to plan to get Max Verstappen up the field. So where are we? P10. We don't want to lose another position here. And we're not going to. So we're going to have the rest of the field pit next lap. For soft or for dry tyre, I'd have thought. And we're going to go around once more. And do a 5th lap. And then hopefully come back for some probably mediums and boost to the end. We've got Sainz. We'll do one more. Because I don't need to push him. And I'll probably come back for some softs on him as well. We've got the field going for wets at the back. And I'm going to go around once more. And hope that the strategy is absolutely spot on. So everybody pits. P2 comes out on wets. And we're going to go back and probably put on some mediums. And hope the rain goes away just that little bit more. As the track's drying. It's a risk worth taking. Don't think it's drying out enough. But it really depends on the rain as well here. So Sainz comes out. And we've got a safety car. So I'm going to come in for softs. And hope that this is a few minutes. Until till the cloud passes. Because we could be in an amazing position here. But it depends. It's 10 seconds. If it comes up to about 2 minutes, we're going to have a great chance of P1 and P2. If it says about 20 seconds, we're stuffed. And we've got 1:45, so that should be enough to get Max Verstappen up to P2. I'll be going at the end of this lap, 2 laps, full boost to the end. And that should see us P1 and P2 in Imola. So we'll keep going. Safety car still going around. We need the safety car to hurry up a little bit. But once we get racing, it's going to be completely dry for a good 50 seconds. So we need to get Max past as quick as we can. And come on, safety car, hurry up. And we're about to get racing again. Carlos Sainz then, here we go. We're about to go zero rain as well. So Max Verstappen needs to get past ASAP. And into the first corner. He's not passed yet. It's now completely dry. We should be able to get past Max. He goes off the track. And we should get Sainz very easy here. And we are. So it's P1 and P2 again. We've got 1 lap to go. It is going to rain, but it's not going to affect us. And we come to the last lap, and it's another 47 points in the bag. The rest of the field are on wet still. They're going really slow. We're flying. And we've got 1 race to go. And we only need 1 more lot of 47 points. And we would have max scored this weekend for the first time. So an absolutely brilliant weekend. But let's not count our chickens too clearly. 1 race to go. Max gets P2. P1 and P2 as the rain comes in. And another 47 points is in the bag. The 8th and final race of GP weekend. Brazil in the wet. And we have a higher matchup for the rival again. But it's not too bad. And we're going to qualify P3 and P11 for Max. And with it being full wet, we are going for the Merlion on Max. And Hex for Carlos Sainz. And hopefully we can get Max up the field to get perfect 47. That's what the aim is. And let's do it. Final race, here we go. Lights out, and can we get a good start? We've got Carlos Sainz straight through the middle. And Carlos is into P1 already. Max is round the outside. And Max is up to P9. And hopefully he can get 1 more position here. And he does, he cuts the corner. P8 now. And we are going wide. Can we keep the position? We can. So it's P8 for Max. We're just going to try and tick off a few drivers as we go. So coming around the last corner, we're going to boost all the way to the first corner. And hopefully we'll get past Leclerc. And it's not quite, so not yet. We're going to conserve again. And hopefully do 5 laps with Max. And that's a great move by Max. Can he get it done? He can't. And he can't get into P7, but he can now. And first position gain then for Max. We've got Verstappen in front of us, so we're going to boost. Hopefully we can chuck one up the inside on the first corner. And that we can. So we're into P6. It's all about Max Verstappen. And now we've got ourselves George Russell, Norris, Sainz and the rival ahead of us. So we're just going to look after our tyres. Come back and do 3 laps is the aim. And we're going to try and get up 1 more again. So can we get George Russell this time? We're a bit further back. But it doesn't matter because we're into P5. We're right on the limit of 5 laps here as well. So Sainz will carry on. I think the rival's going to go for 4. Or potentially 5. We're going to try and go for 5, I think. I think just looking at the field. So rival goes on. And we are going to conserve. We're just going to keep it going. We don't need to change anything just yet. Sainz will pit at the end of this lap. And same with Max. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a full 47 weekend, sadly. But that's what the matchup's done to us as well. But it should hopefully be good enough for P2. And or not even P2, P1 and maybe P3 is hopefully we can get, and that would hopefully get us P1 this weekend. So let's see. Here we go. Carlos Sainz will boost off into the distance. Verstappen will come out in P5 and he'll be going right to the end. 3 laps to get 2 positions at least, and he's right behind Lando Norris already. So can we get Norris? Up the inside we can, so it's P4, and if we get Carlos Sainz it'll just be a 1 point drop over the weekend for Sunday. So big pressure on Max to deliver, and we are now right behind Sainz with 1.5 laps to go. What about up the inside? Yes, we can. So P1 and P3 guaranteed. We're not going to catch the rivals Sainz, but it is 46 points in the end, and we will take that all day long with a bad matchup as well. So as long as Max avoids danger, we might be in for P1 this weekend. So Sainz wins, Carlos Sainz comes over for P2, Max comes over for P3. 46 points for ourselves. Shame it couldn't be 47, that would have topped it up. Absolutely lovely as Hamilton crosses the line. So it is 375 points, not 376. That is still the aim this week on one of these GPs. We have to get a full score at some point. So let's have a look. We are P1 at the minute, 375, full of 47s and 146 right at the end due to a higher matchup. And fingers crossed that sees us to P1. Hopefully you've enjoyed the Sunday final round, and as always, check back tomorrow, GP rewards, see if we hold on to P1, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.